Okay, Dede, I'm seeing a review of what we worked on. Your posture looks great. Your knees are back. Your butt's up. Your arm, it's perfect from down the line. We worked on that tilt, which I'll show you from the front. But I put a line in front of Michelle's Lee's head here, and the chair behind her. You're doing really well with that chair, where you're getting into your right leg and your butt's still against the chair. The only thing is, I want you to feel like your left hip and your left shoulder get a little closer together. You'll still have to turn behind the ball so that it feels like this hip and this shoulder stay closer together so that you won't stand up. Because your head, you're getting into your right heel, which is great, but you can see how your head backed up away from that line. So I feel like if we can get that hip and that shoulder a little closer together, that'll hopefully, and then you want to separate them. That will help you, and then that'll give you much more consistency. Our head does back up on the way down, and so does yours, which is great. You can back it up a little bit on the way down, but that's causing you to top it. So let's look at it from the front. And that, if we get you to work on that too, your shoulders will be more tilted here instead of level, and that's why it looks like her follow-through is a little higher. So again, you're doing really well with your rear stand into that chair, but we just got to feel like that your head, you want it to sway a little bit and you want it to turn, but you don't want it to fall backwards towards the chair too much. Okay, so from the front, just want to tilt your body from your neck to your crotch a little bit. She's not as tilted as most, but you're just too straight up and down there because you want to sweep your driver. You want your right foot to be wider. That helps you stay behind the driver so you can hit up on it. So wider stance, starting with like your 7-iron on down, you'll just graduate your right foot so your right foot is wider all the time. I wanted the golf ball on the instep of your left foot, which yours is great there. It's hard to see that from the video. Alright, so a little bit of a tilt, meaning you're going to push your hips towards the target, take the buttons of your shirt and move them back a little tiny bit away from the target. Okay, and then let me just put a line even with hip right here. Alright, so right here, instead of this left shoulder being so high, I want the hip and the shoulder to get a little closer to each other. Even though you're going to go back to your right heel and keep your leg flexed, you can see how her shoulder, her hip still stays high, but her shoulder is down and these are close. You're going back to your right heel, but we got to get that shoulder and that hip close to each other, even though you're still going to turn behind it. The right knee is going to stay forward. Your pocket and your shoulder turn behind, but these two, this hip and the shoulder, are closer together, even though you're going to turn into that chair. And your shoulders will be a little tilted if you just work on that on the way back. And your finish should be a little higher. Alright, so say we looked at Albert Pujols, the baseball player. I'm going to notice how when he goes back, his left hip and his left shoulder get a little closer together. So his hip goes up, his shoulder goes down, then his right leg is nice and flexed so he can push off his right heel, and then he spreads this apart. So yours is apart already, and we need to get it together on the way back so that those left obliques are nice and what we call engaged. So then you can push off that right heel and they separate. And then you won't top it, and then you'll hit it really well. So great job with the chair. Just work on your left hip and your left shoulder. And make sure that on your grip that you still work on strengthening your hand and your thumbs. Or one thumb is on one side of the shaft and one is on the other. So this right thumb needs to be over here a little bit, and this left thumb right here needs to be over more to the other side. Left thumb on the right side. And if you can, get that heel of your left hand on top. I know you have a hard time with your left hand there, but we can definitely move that right thumb over. So work on your left obliques, keep working on the chair, work on your right knee forward, your left pocket, and your left shoulder still turned behind it, but just that left obliques feel a little closer together so then you can spring them apart on the first move down. All right, Dede, very good. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.